All right, it's Tuesday, November 14th, just getting started, about 6:50 in the morning, and wow, this is a big up move. I haven't seen something like this in a while. Just seeing if there's something like this. Spike and channel. Let's concentrate on this part. First entry, second entry right now, but I'm not ready. And I see that. I like that better. It's too late now. The other thing I could do, one leg, two legs, crazy target, 45.40. Wow. I don't know if we're doing that today. All right, so we've got the new high off of this. Too bad I wasn't ready for this one, although it was a little far away from the EMA, so but context-wise, it made sense. Okay, I'm gonna pause until I see something. All right, well, this thing just keeps moving up, a couple little pullbacks. I haven't seen anything I liked. There was an LO here, but we had already broken this, made its way up all the way up here. Here's the bigger channel. And from this wick to here, made sense as a top. So we're coming off the highs, and we made it to the midline and bounced. But we had already made a new high off of this one, so I just wasn't, I mean, it's a very strong up day, clearly, but I just decided context-wise, I didn't know what was going on anymore at this point because I didn't see like a legit trend channel. Maybe I could draw on that. I guess that makes sense. I didn't see that at the time. So if I saw that, but even still, you already had a new high off of it. So these are the kinds of trades that I've been seeing myself taking losses on lately, knowing the context. So now we have an overshoot and an overshoot again. So it's hard to take anything all the way up here. It's like you think you want to wait until it comes down to here for a good setup, but it didn't even make it past the midline. Yeah, so just watching. Let's see if anything sets up. I'm likely going to have to stop early again today, so I think I have to stop around 9. Yeah, I'm not sure if I could come back or not, so not much time left, but we'll see. All right, still just been watching this thing. Just haven't seen any setups. I had it as an overshoot, but the thing just keeps going up, so I moved it up to here. And keep thinking because of these overshoots, I see that we're going to have a deeper pullback to at least the bottom and then probably be wary of that too, thinking overshoot. But now at this point, it just keeps going up. So there was a first entry long, second entry long, and a higher low off the EMA. But I thought we had an overshoot, so I wasn't willing to take that. And no setups for the Nlts other than the one I spoke about earlier. So just waiting. I mean, I can't believe the market's up over 2% today, almost 100 points. Don't see that very often lately. Already back at 45.20 is crazy. I mean, the way this thing was going down before, what a rally. Anyway, when you don't even have a setup you think you can consider, it turns into an easy day of just hanging out. But I would like to get some trades, so and probably running out of time soon. So let's see what happens. And I'm watching this here. Looks kind of rangy. There's a potential for a PB to the short side coming up over here, kind of thing. But it's hard to think of taking a short when the market just keeps going up. So I'm not sure. I'll have to see what it looks like if it gets to that area. Maybe there's something like this. But if it gets to a PB area for a short and we're underneath the midline, then maybe. And if this down channel is holding, but I'd much rather find a long trade. But also, this could still be an overshoot from before. This could be down here, and these could be overshoots. So hard to say. I mean, it fits here. But I guess if there's a PB to the downside and it's below the midline where I've got it now, and if there's room in this channel that if it gets confirmed, then I might feel better about possibly taking a short. And if this is an overshoot, then a short makes more sense. It's just this, nothing's been able to hold this market back today, so it's hard to bet against what the bulls have been doing all day. But I just haven't seen any setup that looks safe to take to the long side since I've been on. Coming up on 2 hours. So this doesn't look like it's holding this channel right now. There's a potential for an OJ to the top side again, coming off the midline. First entry long, second entry long. Just not sure what's going on right now. Problem with the OJ is it'll be right at this resistance of this mini range, if that's what happens. There's something. It doesn't really seem like a channel. This is definitely not a channel. So this is an OJ right here to take along.
Order submitted.
Longs have been working all day. I'm trying to get in on this OJ.
Order submitted.
And we'll see. Maybe it's just a failed breakout. It's the first setup I've seen all day, so I'm going to take it. It's going with the trend. We'll see what happens. I haven't figured out. I think I have the commissions wrong. I definitely have the commissions wrong. So I got to figure out how to fix that. I think it's from when I was trading the ES. I don't like that bar. Well, doesn't look like it's going to be good, but I took the OJ with the trend. So it's the only setup I've seen today. Yeah, win or lose, it is what it is.
Order
Ooh.
filled.
Oh man, and major slippage. What the rock? That was gnarly. That was really gnarly. I mean, 1450. My stop was supposed to be at 1575. I got 5 ticks of slippage there. Wow. Things just not working out so good for me lately. That was brutal. It should have been a 10 tick loss. 2.5 points. Honestly, I mean, this is really what I was more expecting, was to go to the downside, but every time it just kept going up. Finally get a setup, and it doesn't happen. All right, so OJ not doing so well lately. 3rd loss. Down to 67%. Man. So crazy how when I started this on YouTube, my strategy just was winning. And now it's just losing. The market changed. So I gotta do the overall number 2. I think we're in the crash and burn stage of this. That was a crazy one. But I did call it, it looked like a mini range. We had a breakout, and then according to Mac, most breakouts fail. And boom, there it was. So, not totally surprised. Just sucks that I got a setup to have to enter it. All right. Not sure when I have to stop, but we'll see what happens. All right, I am going to have to take a break right now for a little bit. Maybe I can be back for a little bit, and then I'll have to end it for the day. So, yeah, I mean, I could see why this lost according to the fact that I'm trading out of a tight range, and it failed, and the breakout failed and came back. So it's interesting to see that, and it's the first time I've actually seen that since I've been drawing these, to see an OJ setup like that. So maybe that's a spot where I should ignore them. So I'll keep that in mind for future times. All right, so I'm just getting back, and I'm guessing that this really was an overshoot that I was originally thinking. And so unfortunate timing to see a setup. I'm just thinking, when it's a breakout of a tight range, maybe that's a good spot to see about skipping OJs. Maybe that's the times where they lose. But also, I think, I stopped considering this as an overshoot because it seemed like it was just going to keep working up. And it clearly trapped a lot of longs there. Saying maybe something like that. You know, could say possibly, but I don't know, that's weird. Could possibly have something like that. That doesn't really seem right either. Oops. So definitely having some tough trading recently. Bad time to start trying the 150, but it is what it is. At least it was a free account. This account number 3 is dangerously close to the trailing drawdown now, and it's less than $100 away. So, you know, 1-2 more trades, and it's going to be blown, unfortunately. But then I'll just move on to other accounts. I'm still trading this, which still has plenty of drawdown. A little over 1,000. And still have the number 2 account, which I haven't traded at all. And then there's still a little bit of room on numbers 1 and 4. So I'm still in this game. Just things not going as well as they had been going for me. But hopefully I'll have a little time here to still trade. See what we might get here. Not totally looking for a retest of the high because I'm thinking it probably was an overshoot, considering it led to the break on the other side. So I'm just pause here and see what we get. I'm also thinking of adding a new setup that I haven't been trading, but I've been just kind of watching it in the background, which is essentially what leads to an LO. Let's say this is an LO, or let's say this is an LO. The bar before the LO, what I call the BT, because it touches my indicator line, to maybe trade it when it goes 2 ticks above that on the touch, instead of waiting for the LO way higher. So I'm seeing there's a lot of situations where that would work as well, including this right here. This would be a BT. The low, this was 04, so 0375 to the bottom, 02. So that would have missed my target by 1 tick. So who knows? Also, I do gotta say, going for 6 to 8 ticks instead of going for 4, I know is also more dangerous. So like this one, let's see, the high here, 18 and a quarter, went to 19 and a quarter. So that was a 4 tick failure. So, looking for reasons to get in trades, get out of trades. For all I know, this is a losing strategy. It looked really good for the first 5 or 6 weeks that I was trading it, and now it's less. But I'm also taking some losses on PATs recently too. So just overall, not good trading for me. I don't know what happened. The market just changed since the whole Israel thing, and ever since that, it's really just not been going well. So maybe it's just a phase, and things will correct course for me in a little bit. I just decided to go ahead and draw this just in case, just to be able to see it, because you never know, in case it comes into play later. I'm actually watching this. This is a trade I used to take, trading PATs, where if there was a three bars side by side like that before a failure, I would take the opposing trade. I'd call it an R3T. I'm not going to take that in this case, but what I might take is if it triggers an OJ down here. The only reason I'm not taking the failure for a long is because the bars are stacked side by side like that. Looks like it's going to work. It's already worked for 4 ticks. So the R3T is off the plate. Also, I would have waited for 2 ticks below for me to take the R3T, so that didn't trigger for me. I haven't traded R3Ts yet on YouTube here. Maybe one day if I see the right configuration, I'd think about it. All right, just waiting. All right, so it looks like we have a break, a new high in 1 bar here around the midline. If this turns out to be legit, there's a potential OJ to the downside. And if it triggers, I will take it again in this context because I'm thinking it's been an overshoot, not going to retest the highs. And trap longs, but it has to come down here, so we'll see. I'm just going to pause and wait. All right, so this thing, even after this push down, just kept going up. I'm just testing if maybe there's a wider channel here. But I'm just in a no range or a no trade area for me because we've got this trend break new high. We're potentially going to be in a downtrend now. Not sure if we're supposed to be getting a retest of these highs or not. I mean, it's just hard to say. You know, does that look right? It doesn't look bad. But then what led to this significant drop and break if it wasn't an overshoot? And if you had it like that, this midline seemed like it was working pretty great before that. So, and I got this loss, and you know, it makes me think that this loss came from 2 things: overshoot and from a tight range failed break out of it. So, you know, I surprisingly don't feel too bad today about this loss. I followed my rules, my current rules for the trade, and it didn't work. And I can see a potential 2 reasons why it wouldn't have worked based on these, based on the way I'm drawing my channels. And so overshoot potentially, failed break out of the range potentially. So I don't feel bad about that. I know I'm just getting losses stacking up on top of each other over days and weeks now. But I think I'm just going through a little bit of a rough patch, and I've got to learn some of these lessons before I can get back to where I was. Because there was times I was taking these sorts of trades without drawing any of this stuff, and there were times where I was getting losses. I wasn't understanding why. And so putting it in this context with the channels at least is giving me some things to think about, to say, okay, that's a potential reason. This is a potential reason. Even though on my other chart off to the left on my indicator, everything fit my rules to take the trade. So I'm just kind of in a learning phase and trying things out phase with my NLTS strategy. And so I'm going to get some losses like this sometimes. There's times where, you know, I took a loss yesterday where I had a PB that was going right. The entrance of the PB was right into where the low of a channel already was. So I shouldn't have been looking for a PB there based on that context. But I was having so much success before I was even drawing these channels before in the first 5 weeks of YouTube, that I was on YouTube, that my mind still just wants to take the trade when I see the configuration on my other chart, even though it's antithetical to what I'm seeing on this chart. So I've got to, now that I'm drawing this, I've got to be really good at discipline. And it's a trade-off because I haven't been aggressive enough recently. So I'm trying to be more aggressive. But when you're more aggressive, the trade-off is your discipline. So trying to find the right balance of aggressive to take the trades when the setups are right, but to have the discipline to not take them if there's some reason for doubt. So we'll just keep watching here. I think I still have another hour or so to be able to trade, so maybe we can turn this around still. That slippage though was really killer. I mean, it should have been 2.5 points on the loss. My stop was right under this bar, and it didn't catch me until here. So, and that's a non-news event. You only would expect something like that if there's some news. So, all right, that's all I got for now. All right, and so interesting here that a close up here may give me a PB, and there's still room to get up to here. So I'm watching this, and we'll make a decision based on the close of the bar. I'm gonna get an order ready just
Order
in case.
submitted.
I have to see if it fits the rules. When the bar closes. No,
Order canceled.
it's not going to fit the requirement, and it's not going to work if another one closes higher. Not that it won't work. I mean, it may still work, but it doesn't fit my rules to be able to take this. So I'm going to go ahead and pause again. Okay, so that potential PB never even triggered on the next bar. But based on what I'm seeing on that chart, I'm definitely not going to be surprised if it gets to at least this line. And then I'll be interested to see if there's a reaction there or not. And then not entirely sure if this is really valid or not yet. I mean, it looks like it is because you have this touch and goes higher, and then this touch and goes higher. So I am, I guess, considering this valid at this point. But I'd expect at least to get to here, and then if this isn't an overshoot, we'll get to the highs. There's also the measured leg from the bottom all the way up there at 45.40. So I don't know if we're going to get there by the end of the day. It's been a really strong day other than once I got in my trade and it did this, but clearly it trapped a lot of longs in this area. So yeah, I still haven't seen another setup since I've been here. I was away for a little bit, and I'm just going to wait for a setup. If I see a setup, I'm going to take it, win or lose. That's been my promise to myself in terms of just my aggressiveness is if there's a setup and I don't see clear reasons to not take it, then I'm going to take it. And now that I'm trading MES, I mean, it really takes a lot to take out the PAs. This one is like less than $100 away, so from the trailing. So this one might get blown soon, but if it gets blown, that's fine. I'm still trading this one that's got over 1,000 in trailing. Let's see this here, 23,868, 24,9. So got plenty of room there, and then still have number 4. Still got trading on the MES, still got plenty of trades to take, and the number 1 account, same thing, trading on the MES, still got some trades to take. Got a fresh 50K, haven't touched yet. So I'm in this PA game for a while, no matter what happens. So I'll just leave it there and wait for a setup. All right, just came back. Just taking care of my dogs. So it looks like this isn't a thing. Looks like we got the retest of this. Are we getting a retest of this? I have no idea. Suppose something like this is possible. That's what I do. I just keep drawing channels to see what's possible. Does look like this was a PB. Unsure if I would have taken that, because I would have been worried not enough room to this. The high of this was, so the entry would be 1250, and the high here is 1275. So I probably would have stayed away from this based on one of my losers, or some of my losers lately, but one from the other day. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it's 1 and 4 yesterday. I can't even keep track of which days I'm taking all my losses on, because it seems like every day lately. So now would want to see this get confirmed. For maybe a second entry long, or a BT or something, or failed second entry short, first entry short. This is second entry short. It's kind of another confusing day. Only in this area. I mean, it wasn't confusing earlier. It was just the market was going up and I just wasn't seeing any setups in the time that I was on. First entry, second, yeah, it's just crazy. So I'll pause here and see if something comes up. And in fact, I just drew, if this is one leg up, maybe you're looking for a second leg up. This could be a first entry short, second entry short, which would also potentially be a BT on my other chart.
Order submitted.
But these are a little weird, so I might wait for a second entry long. I already got a break of this and a new high. Just watching it and see how it closes. It's really finishing high. Going right into what would be a midline. And there's only room for like 4 ticks there. I mean, I'd rather see it tick up and then come down, make a higher low, and then second entry long. I'm gonna pause. I'm not gonna take this. All right, so just watching this, for anyone that might have thought to take this trade, getting close to getting stopped out. I mean, I do see it as a new low, first entry short, second entry short, failure, but you already have 2 trend breaks with new highs. And the question is this legitimate? The only way it can be legitimate is if it's like that now. So if this is a second entry long, I might consider that. It's a lower high though. This got taken out. Anyone took a trade there for a long is out. I'm kind of guessing that this is not going to be a channel. I'm still guessing that this is an overshoot, so not really expecting a new high, but just hard to say.
Order
This is a
submitted.
second entry long. I think I will take it. We have a measured move. EMA is up and then flat. It's not looking like it's going to even look like a setup. It definitely looks questionable here on my other indicator for a long. Doesn't look like a spot to go for a long. So it looks like this is just not a channel. Or is it a broken one? Could say it's a break. Maybe you're expecting a new high off of this. You have a touch here, touch here, touch here, touch here, touch there. I'm just going to pause. I don't think we're
Order
getting a setup.
canceled.
That's obvious to me. So looks like a second entry long kind of triggered in a weird way here. It's not something I can take. Even though expecting new highs off of this, I think. But that's just like a weird, like it went down and then it came up and engulfed. It's right at the EMA. And this is the kind of thing like, I'd say, yeah, it's probably going to work to go up. But when it looks like that, how can you take that trade? Just that first entry long, and then it was almost like a second entry long failure because I think it went down first and then came up. I think it closed up here, went down, came up, and then closed right here. So almost like a short trap in a way, but no trade for me. So I was just writing it out to take a look. I mean, I don't know. It seems like a stretch. So you had a first entry long, second entry long here with a failure, which would have worked. But I was thinking maybe this was a channel, but maybe it's not. Maybe this was the channel break, new high. First entry long, second entry long, failure. Still confused about if this is indeed an overshoot or not. But this kind of suggests maybe it is. Now you got a touch here and a touch here. So looks a little wide and big, but EMA was flat here. So I don't know. That was a weird second entry long to start with. But in this area, I'm just confused whether we're going back up or not. If we were going for this measured second leg up. So just market's been hard to really gauge lately for me anyway. Not sure how other people are feeling about it the last few weeks. I'm gonna pause here. I might have another 30 to 40 minutes maybe. We'll see. All right, so left this bigger, wider channel in. Got kind of a channel down from here where it felt second entry long was. Kind of have a steeper channel from here. Looks like we have a break. Would be expecting a new low of that. Might have a second entry short from around here.
Order
So I would consider
submitted.
second entry short to get the low of this. Have the measured move from the top down here. Expecting to get to the bottom of the channel. So if I do get a second entry short here, I'll take it. Would love to see it hit the EMA and shoot back down, but it doesn't look like there's time for that. Could be a break and then a retest too, potentially. Market's just super slow. I have to leave in the next 15 to 30 minutes. The second entry short off the midline in the EMA seems like a good setup. if it happens. This candle right now has got a wick above this one, so I have to make sure it ticks above first. If it does turn down. So there's no trade there, no setup.
Order canceled.
I'm gonna refresh my data, historical data, just to see if anything changes. Nope, it's the same. So I just don't have a signal bar here, but I am expecting to retest these lows. All right, I'll pause and see if anything else comes up. All right, so I'm going to have to wrap it up here in just a few minutes. I had this channel down like this before, catching all of the action. It seemed like the midline was good, but it's another case where it's like it could have been an overshoot 2 times. So if you're looking at that like it's an overshoot, you can just take it off and then go by the yellow one. This already had a break in the retest of the low. There was a first entry short, second entry short here that failed right at the midline. It wasn't going to take that for long in a seemingly downtrend. So yeah, just the no setups on my NLTS chart on the other side. So going to be calling it really soon here, and unfortunate to have a red day again, but it's just one trade and live on to fight another day. And still, managing to take on all these losses and haven't blown a PA yet, although another loss or two and number 3 is definitely going to get blown up. So I need to turn this around and go on a winning streak to give it life. It's funny because this one was the one that was so close. It was 1 or 2 trades away when I was trading on the ES 3 weeks ago. And then it's just been a steady decline since then. But I'm not going to let it get to me. Today's trade, followed the rules, the current rules that I have for it. It lost. It gave me slippage on top of that, which sucks. What are you going to do? It looks like right where it bounced is the beginning of what is creating a potential downtrend here. Now we have a possible overshoot to the upside here on this one. I mean, if I have time and stick around, if we get a reaction up here and some kind of setup to go short, I'd love to be here for it, but I'm guessing it's going to take too long to set up for me to be able to be around for a trade like that. I'll pause here. All right, so we've got what appears to be a break up here. Have apparently an overshoot. There. This is potentially a first entry short, second entry short. But I don't love the way this looks. Far from the EMA. I don't like taking entries that don't have a wick on it, or signal bars that don't have a wick. I feel like a lot of times they come up, stop you out, and then go. I'm just not totally sure about this down channel. I guess if I started it from like here, that looks better. I'm gonna set up here. I got 5 minutes, and then I'll do my wrap-up video and call it a day. I gotta get out of here. I just didn't quite make a measured move. You know, maybe this isn't an overshoot. Maybe it's gonna go ahead and retest that high at the end of the day here, since it didn't get down here. I'll pause here, a couple more minutes. Actually, no, I just changed my mind because I got to record the video to do my wrap up, and then I really got to go. So I don't want to get stuck in a trade. So this is where I'm going to end it for today. Really just a whatever day. I mean, one trade. It's like, what am I even going to say? Yeah, took a trade that the rule was there. The rules were there. Just didn't work. Got a loss. Moving on. All right, so that was the day. I mean, that news was crazy. I wasn't here for that. And then it just really worked up. It kept kind of looking like an overshoot because, well, let me do the review and get out of here. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, if you like this content, even though I suck lately. And 71% still running. You can use this code or any other code you have for Apex. And really disappointed with my stats currently, but I'm recording this all for a reason, and I'm not at the destination yet. So let's see if I can turn this around at some point soon. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks.